Hello Commanders, Commander Plater here back with another Elite Dangerous video, and today we are taking a look at an interesting use of game mechanics which I have only seen at one station in my thousands of hours of gameplay in Elite Dangerous. It also happens that the station that you can do this in is Plater's Tyranny, in the system of Hilla, home of my player minor faction and the station I provide the announcement voices for. By now you're probably wondering what you're watching in the background, and that, Commanders, is the Tyranny Warp. Remember, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more news as it happens, and don't forget to leave me a comment with your opinions. Chances are by now you probably want to know what the Tyranny Warp is and how you do it. Well, the good news is I'm going to tell you and give you a bit of a guide on how to do it. The Tyranny Warp is where you line up with the station whilst in Super Cruise, and instead of manually dropping out when prompted, you allow the force dropout to happen. You then magically end up in the same instance as the station, and if you've lined up correctly, you'll actually end up inside the station itself, and when I say inside the station, I really mean inside the station. You know the station's geometry? Yeah, there, and things can get a little bit weird. The station can try to push you out of the geometry. This can either be into the docking bay or it can force you out of the station completely. When doing the Tyranny Warp, if you manage to make it past the rear wall, you will no longer be in the area that requires docking permission. This means that you can actually then request docking and make your way through the rear wall of the station and get to your assigned landing pad. Plus, you do get some very interesting views from here as well, a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. If you don't line up correctly, what you can end up doing is simply bullseyeing the rings and going straight through them, not connecting with the station whatsoever. Still, a bit of a shock if it's something you aren't expecting to happen. If you do decide to try the Tyranny Warp for yourself, there are a few things that you should consider. Number 1, bring shields. One way or another, you're going to be clashing with bits of the station, and in case you didn't know, the station is way tougher than your squishy ship. Next up, you can get stuck on station geometry. If this happens, the best thing for you to do is lower and raise your landing gear whilst attempting to move away from the offending piece of geometry. Also, if you have a favourite fighter pilot, maybe now's the time to set them as non-active whilst doing this, just in case there are any accidents that probably will happen. Finally, when performing the Tyranny Warp, you can end up inside the docking bay, so if you do so, you will get a trespass warning, and if you don't leave in time, you will be destroyed. So if you decide to do this, consider yourself told, and don't forget, Commanders, my guns are bigger than yours. Of course, going into Super Cruise, then lining up is not the only way to perform the Tyranny Warp. The second and alternative method to performing a Tyranny Warp is you leave the station. You boost until you are out of mass lock range, then you want to get yourself lined up with the station entrance. Set your throttle to 0. Now, charge your FSD as if you're going to enter Super Cruise. Once your FSD is fully charged, boost. And this is where the magic happens. You enter Super Cruise, then you immediately get pulled out into a Tyranny Warp. With the short stop method, you will likely, more often than not, end up inside the docking area as opposed to passing through the rear wall. As I mentioned earlier, Plater's Tyranny might well be the only station you can perform this due to its unique location just above planetary rings and the orientation of the station. So there it is, Commanders, something you probably didn't know that you could do in Elite Dangerous. And remember, you can only do this in Plater's Tyranny in Hilla. I'm going to encourage everyone to give this a go at least once, as it can be pretty entertaining to do, even if it's a little bit short-lived and a little bit messy. If you do, make sure to bring me 1 unit of Lavian brandy and sell it to the commodities market, just to show some appreciation. And thank you for watching. Please make sure that you do like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you get an alert every time I put a new video out. Also, whilst you're there, if you are looking to support the channel, please check out the links in the video description, as there are a couple of different ways to do so. But once again, thank you for watching. Commander Plater, out.